flog of the heater. So you may remember last time the heater hoses looked a bit shabby, but look what the boys have done. So they've tidied this all up here. And Andrew, this is going to go, pull that back, Andrew, so we can see. So what's happening in here, Andrew?
So the heater hose goes through the heater casing instead of around the outside.
Around the outside, and then there's the valve cunningly hidden away inside the box, Andrew.
Yeah, that's a standard Chevette valve, so it'll hook up to the...
Because normally the valve would have been over here, Andrew, wouldn't it? And what? That's where the wiper motor goes.
So that needs to stay there without major alteration. So that sits in there, like that.
And what were you going to plate? You were going to plate something?
Oh, just the mount.
Okay,
the mount was going rusty, so I've sandblasted it and I'll have it replated.
Yeah.
Then that'll sit in there, and the wiring will come out again under the heater box and through a small hole in the heater box.
Yeah, so that will be cool.
And that'll plug into there, and the heater fan, I've put the plug on the inside. So you can see there, well you can't really see, so that's the heater fan.
Yeah.
It normally would sit on the front of this.
Yes.
But now sits inside there. That was really, really simple.
Yep.
It's just a matter of relocating it. So we'll just have to put that through there and put terminals on the other side. The only disadvantage is that you'll have to cut the wires when you want to pull it out.
Yeah. And they traditionally used to run on the outside, right, didn't they?
Yeah, well it came right round
Right
there,
round.
up here and into theirs.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'm really happy with the way that's tidy, because the last time we had all the hoses going here. And of course I didn't mention last time, Andrew, but this is going to be where there's the airbox is going to be. So all of this, I mean, that'll be tidied up, but that's actually going to be quite hidden away because the airbox fills up this entire area, doesn't it?
Well, this is just your natural engine bay wiring. You can't really do much about it.
So there's going to be the airbox here, because this is running airflow meter, not a map sensor. So it'll have, which we've kept. The silver tops ran the airflow meter, and we're going to keep that because it's a lot more torquey.
So this, of course, was where the little igniter setup was for the amplifier. So originally that's roughly where the solenoid sat for the Chevette.
Ah, that's right too, yeah. That's exactly right out there. But that, and then with the alloy panel going across that, that's going to really be very tidy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It will be incredibly tidy.
Yep. That's great. And you can see from last time we saw Tim's work, there you can see his hard lines going to the flexible lines underneath.
Yep. And a bracket for that we've made, but that's just off getting zinc plated anyway. So.
And Andrew, the reason, because this is the Willwood system here, but why have we only got two?
Because the airbox comes up over there.
Yeah.
So we take the fluid, use this fluid reservoir for both the rear and the clutch.
Yeah.
It'll still, if something goes horribly wrong, it'll still run out of fluid in the clutch before the brake.
Yeah.
So if you burst the clutch line, because of the heights here, you'll still have your brakes.
Yeah. So we have to take that reservoir off because the airbox, the clearance issues, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the clearance issues.
Yeah.
We still have that little box, and it's completely unnecessary for the clutch anyway because it uses so little fluid.
Yeah. And then you had to modify a little bit, just was a little bit shaved or modified on the airbox, wasn't it?
Yeah,
to get that to fit in there.
We had to cut the airbox around quite a bit actually, this end and that end and underneath.
Yeah.
But we wanted to keep a similar shape because the factory trumpets are quite nice that they have on the end of the, well, not the throttle bodies, but they have on the end of the ear intakes.
Yep.
They're quite an efficient shape.
Well, Yamaha was a musical instrument maker in the day. Started out as one. Yeah, fantastic. Another thing we've done, Andrew, isn't it? So the wiring is going to be nothing coming out this side, but it's all going to be coming out there and then running around. So that's going to route
under the front here.
Yep.
Get down in the hole there. The wiring will be clipping up onto this newly fabricated piece here.
Yep.
Going across to the other headlamp and indicator.
Right. Because it did used to go around and then come out here, didn't it?
Right, round across the top here and down.
Yeah, so now it's going to come all out there.
So
across the
the
top.
important thing is it's all really well protected in here, so it's better than putting it under your guard because it's the other side of the
Yeah.
guard wiring.
And just,
Yeah,
and just note that. Look at that.
Found a little bit, so we'll fix that, so that wiring will be slightly different. We'll fix that little flap.
You can see from the Trentham assembly back in 1981, this panel here didn't get spot welded back in the day, Andrew.
Back in the day. Yeah, for the oil pressure warning light, because I
okay.
still want to have an oil pressure warning light, even though that's also wired into the computer.
Yes.
But we'll put the pressure gauge somewhere else. But I want to leave that there just
Okay.
so.
Oh, there's the. Okay, there it is.
So
there.
there's the sender
Yep.
for the oil pressure warning.
Yep. So there's going to need to be a wire there somehow coming up.
Oh yeah, I'll just bring it down here. You won't see it.
Yep.
It'll just be under the exhaust, so I'll cover it over.
And very viewers who are looking at this will notice, where's the headers? So where are the headers, Andrew?
Headers are at HPC in Auckland, getting coated. They came out so nicely that we thought they deserved them.
So they're going to be ceramic coated inside
Yep.
and out, and they'll go there. And so those are custom by proprietors. Did you do those, Andrew? Did you? Tim did the headers. didn't he?
Jared and Tim did the headers. They
Yep.
did most of them.
Yep.
So,
So they're going to look really nice sitting
Yeah.
in there, won't they?
and also that protects it from heat round your starter and heat round whatever you have over here.
Over here we've got, obviously, because the battery used to be over there, didn't it?
Yeah.
On these.
Yep.
And so that's the battery cables that are going through to the
Well,
under.
These are coming through on this side because we have the starter on this side as
Yep.
part of the reason. But also we have the battery in the back seat.
You can see the battery box. Now remind me, why did I decide to do that again? I wanted it clean in the engine bay, but
Yeah.
weight distribution too, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That was something we did fairly early on. Jared Farley did that, so he did a nice job of making up a little box. We had to naturally build a box and sink it into the floor because
Yeah.
there wasn't enough room there naturally, rather than fit an excessively small battery.
Yeah.
So that's a regular battery for it in a nice place, sort of still in the centre of the car, centre of the wheelbase.
And I remember we had the discussion, Andrew, about, like traditionally a lot of performance cars put them in the boot,
Yep.
but there was limited room because I wanted to have, we
Yeah.
had all the fuel system plus my amplifiers and subs back there. So that was a really
and
good
the
spot.
question is safety because
Yeah.
you've got your fuel systems in the boot.
Yep.
And I wanted to naturally keep it away from them. So, because the initial idea was in the boot, and then we settled on this, even though it was a bit more work.
Bit more work.
So we got it away from the fuel.
Yep.
So this wiring here
Yep.
is for the heater blower and the wiper and a couple of other things, and the oil pressure switch that are all going to exit out here to go down that side of the motor. We're going to make a aluminium bracket, but we're putting the little ignition module down there,
Yep.
and the computer will be mounted here, which we still have yet to do. Up here we are moving the looms open because we're moving the wiring for both the fuel gauge and temperature gauge down to the centre.
That's
here.
right. Yep.
And that's actually this wiring there. The Chevette had those nice little plugs,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is really great for assembly. But two of those wires are still the signals we'll need down in the centre console.
That's right.
But they run to the warning lights, so we'll have to bypass them so the warning lights still all work.
That is, that's the
That's your stereo.
Yep. Yep.
So there was also a poor earth up there, so we'll redo that.
Yep.
Just so you've got a nicer plug in there. And we've got some slightly messy wiring there that you can see.
Yep. Tidy
That's
that up.
that's just been there since the dawn of ages when something has been put on the car.
Yeah, you reckon that might have been done right when the car was new, perhaps?
No.
No, it was just
No,
messy.
that's after. The ones that were done when they were new are these knobs here. I don't know if you can see that. See on the white wires there?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a few of those, but I'm attempting to take most of them out. but they would have been fine because they've been there since the car was new, and that's a main ignition feed there. So, but again, we're plugging it up to a different place on the alternator. That's for both the heater motor and the wiper motor.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to alter the cables for the heater. One works okay, but the other one, obviously, because we've altered where the heater tap fits, we'll have to alter the heater on the Chevette.
Because the heater tap originally was on the
On the
driver's
other
side,
yeah,
wasn't it?
so
Yeah,
it works the other way round. So
Yep.
we'll have to do a bit of jiggery and pokery with that, and just fix a lot of the wiring.
Yeah, that's a bit of a... I'm glad you're doing that, not me, Andrew, because...
It looks worse because you see I've clipped random bits back together. That was all taped up, so I had to take the tape off. But then you just clip it back together and you know.
You know what you've done, yeah?
Yeah, the tape is unnecessary really, but it helps hold everything together.
Yeah. And tidy it away. Yeah. So last time, folks, I talked about the huge 38 litre tank. Andrew just pointed out 38 litres. 39 litres now. Isn't that right, Andrew?
Yeah.
Boy, that's gonna... At 33 miles per gallon, I think we're probably going to get that out of this motor. Who knows?
This motor should be economical,
Yeah.
depending on how it's driven, of course.
Of course. You know, my easy driving
Yes.
be 40
It'll be
knots.
fine.
Tank, the purpose of the surge tank is for what reason?
This is the return.
Mm.
This pumps it from the fuel tank into the surge tank, which stays a certain level full, and this then pumps it to the injector.
Right.
It's so that naturally this is a small container, so the idea is that that's always stays full, so you never run out of fuel going to your injectors. Whereas if you run from a conventional tank, when you get below about a third of a tank and the fuel moves
right.
from side to side,
Mm.
you can get a momentary pickup of air, which isn't very good in, that doesn't affect carbureted cars, but isn't very good in injected cars.
So that's for when we're going up Onslow Road.
Yeah,
At speed
it's for the tight
2
tanks at
Gs.
Onslow Road, just so that you don't suddenly stall in the middle of a corner.
Onslow Road is in Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way, just so that you know. I'll just get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Andrew. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my untidiness. Those are the amplifier.
Well, they look neat when they're all in.
When they're all in there, but those are all for the there's running
So
2
it is-
amps and lots of stuff in there.
It is a work in progress at the moment.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, the paint me blue sign's still there. Drew, I didn't talk about this last time, but because this was an east-west engine in Japan cars, we've got the SQ Engineering from Australia, very good kit, folks. They to move the distributor, which of course was at the other end.
Yeah.
And there you'll see a nice little plate which the SQ Engineering kit has, which covers up where the distributor was. Of course, back, you know, for those that didn't want to make too much time, they used to just bang holes into the firewall,
Yeah.
put the distributor back there.
We still had to carve the firewall around it,
Yeah.
but it was a great kit really,
Yeah.
and worked really well.
So that put it to the front,
Yeah.
and then also we put the rear-wheel drive kit, which changed all the hoses.
Yeah. The was a pipe down one side, must have been the other side.
Yeah, there was.
There's
There used to be a
and
pipe
various
here, which
Yeah.
is now so that the piping doesn't come around over the headers, which is what a lot of what you could do, but that doesn't look very elegant, does it?
So a lot of that was relatively simple. A lot of the work went into getting the kit and changing the gearbox really.
Yeah.
The gearbox was far harder to do than the engine. The engine was relatively simple.
And this was a night parts 4H to J160 kit, night parts at a New Zealand kit, which was that was a good job.
Yeah.
So here, this massive thing used to go in there, which was the old washer bottle. Of course, we don't need to carry around all that, so Andy's got to come up with a plan to have a little bottle, which won't be there. I'm sure you'll work something out, Andrew, to take that and miniaturise it.
Yeah.
that one